Now, what do you do if you're a vegetarian and you notice a medicine you've been prescribed has gelatin in it? Well, gelatin's often made from pork extracts, so that's a problem for vegetarians, but also for many Muslims and Jews. A Newcastle pharmacist says it's a huge problem and loads of medicines are simply being thrown away because GPs don't always ask patients if they have dietary restrictions. Well, Aisha is from Newcastle. She's one patient often affected by the issue and says quite often GPs simply don't have the right information at their fingertips.
On a number of occasions, I've come across medicines that have had gelatin in them. And you go to the pharmacy, you've been prescribed the medicine, you give the prescription, and then you find out, actually, I can't have this. So then the pharmacist has to then try to source an alternative. And it can be quite problematic, where there's been, on one occasion, I had to actually source the medicine myself because it wasn't available on prescription, and the one that was available contained gelatin. So I then had to do my own research and look for an alternative that was suitable for my diet.
Well, in the studio with me this morning is Hira Aslam, a pharmacist from Newcastle who's currently working in Northumberland. Morning.
Good morning, Michael.
Thanks for coming in so early on a Sunday. So when did you first become aware of this problem?
Well, I had anemia, and the doctor prescribed me iron tablets himself. I opened the patient information leaflet, and in there it was, in capital gelatin. And I was a little bit unsure at the time, can I take this? Where is it from? Is it, if it's from a fish, then yeah, I should be fine. Is it from pig? Is it from cow, cattle? What am I doing here, basically? And then I wanted to find out, are people in our community experiencing similar problems? And by doing a little bit of investigation and chatting to others, yes, there were. So that's how I first came about this problem. So
gelatin, is it then, if it's just gelatin is completely off, not allowed, is it?
So basically, 80% of gelatin that is manufactured in Europe is from a pig origin, and the other 20 is from cattle, or it could be from any other animal, and a very small percentage, less than 5, is from fish.
But I would imagine the instructions don't specify where that gelatin's come from.
Yes.
And it's used for all kinds of medicines though, isn't it?
Yes, that is correct. So your capsules, your tablets, they contain predominantly like gelatin inside. There are alternatives that are available. So it could be alternatives in different forms, i.e. liquids, or you've got hundreds of different manufacturers that are out there. Some of them don't use gelatin as an ingredient. So that's where I would come in with this project called Your Medicine, Your Choice, where it would provide up-to-date information to the prescriber at the point of prescribing, and it would identify and highlight to them what is suitable for that patient in front of them, so we can get it right for the first time. So I'll be connecting the dots between the manufacturer, the pharmacy, the patient, and the prescriber.
So generally speaking, people probably won't know there's gelatin in it unless they actually read the leaflet. And many people probably get medication, they don't read the leaflet, because of course the leaflet has all the information, but these are the possible side effects, you know, don't take this if you're allergic to this. And of course, only when you read it, you'll find, like I say, most people will probably just discard that. So is it then the GP's responsibility to, like you say, you want the, you're pushing this forward to maybe at the point of dispensing the medication, or maybe at the point where the prescription is, is written out?
Yes.
Do you want the GPs at that point to then be specifically asking the patient if they have any specific dietary requirements that would make it inappropriate to prescribe that medicine?
So there should be some sort of prompt on the screen at the point of prescribing from the GP perspective. And if that's not possible because of time constraint, then it should go down to the pharmacy side of things.
So are there alternatives then that can be used in, because you say the gelatin's in sort of, the casing of capsules and things like that. Is there an alternative that can be used to obviously manufacture the capsules but without gelatin?
Gelatin is a unique ingredient, okay, and I understand from a formulation perspective why it's needed in medication. So I'll give you an example. For example, iron tablets. There's hundreds of different manufacturers that are out there. The Sandoz brand is a brand where it doesn't use gelatin. Now, that information is not available at the point of prescribing, and for a patient or for anyone to get that information, they'll have to wait for a couple of weeks for them to find out, okay, maybe it's a Sandoz brand that you can't take. But we should have that information at the point of prescribing or at the point of dispensing. So patients not having to wait, 1 to 2 weeks or in delaying their treatment.
Or then take it home and then have to take it back because they then realised I can't actually
have
take this information.
And then make another appointment with the GP to get something else prescribed again.
So apart from then at the point of prescription, obviously you'd want that conversation to be had between the GP and the patient.
Yes.
What other changes would you like to see?
So first of all, I think there needs to be a lot of awareness in the community. People need to know what is in their medication, what they are taking. And then the healthcare profession needs to work together for one outcome, that is for the patient. We want to get it right for them for the first time. It's not fair on them for having to struggle and trying to source the information out themselves. And that is why we're there for them.
That's Hira Aslam, a pharmacist from Newcastle, currently working in Northumberland. Well, we approached the Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency and it sent us this following statement. They say the primary objective of labelling is to identify the medicine and to alert users to important safety messages. The regulations covering labelling are set out in European and national law, and there is currently no requirement to identify whether an ingredient is of animal origin. We encourage patients who have concerns about ingredients to talk to their healthcare professional.